Now I will explain uh, the effects of microorganisms. In our topic, the importance of microorganisms, here we discuss two types of effects of microorganisms. There are two major types of effects. Now, one effect is called beneficial effects. Beneficial effects means those effects of microorganisms are helpful to us. They are helpful. Other effects are harmful effects. The effects are of two types. Microorganisms have uh, two types of effects on the human life. One effect is called beneficial effect. Other effect is called harmful effects. Actually, when we compare those two types of effects, microorganisms have highly beneficial effects on the human life. Their beneficial effects are very high. That means so many microorganisms are beneficial to us. And there are only a few microorganisms that are harmful. Okay, so that means actually two types of effects come to our life from microorganisms depending on the varieties or types of microorganisms. So many types of microorganisms actually help us to do various activities in nature and in industries. There are so many varieties, and there are only a few types that cause diseases in us, in our animals, in our material, food and leather-like materials. So they are harmful effects. Microorganisms cause diseases, not only diseases, they also spoil our food. Food spoilage takes place because of microorganisms. If microorganisms are not there, food spoilage doesn't take place. So when we consider now food spoilage, uh, we have children actually food in our day-to-day life. Some food items contain carbohydrates. Carbohydrates means mainly sugars. If you take a banana, strawberry, or else any type of fruit that contains sugars, cake, um, sugar, raw sugar, table sugar that you use at home. And then there are various types of food items that contain sugars. There are, natural food items, the fruits, or else man-made food items like cake, kalua, and all the sweet meats, right? Maybe bundio, puhul dosyo, whatever it is. All those food items contain sugars. When the microorganisms start acting on sugars, those sugars will convert into alcohol. Alcohol. It is the ethanol alcohol or ethyl alcohol. We call it ethyl alcohol or ethanol. Then that time sugar taste will disappear. We get alcoholic smell and carbon dioxide is produced. So the activity of microorganisms on food items that contain high amount of sugars is called fermentation. This one. Okay, that is called fermentation, right? You must know this word, right? Uh, you must know that word, right? Fermentation. This one, what is fermentation? The activity of microorganisms on food items which are high in sugars is called fermentation. There is a single word for that also. Single word is called pacino. And the other activity of microorganisms is called putrefaction. When the microorganisms act on food items which are high in protein, that activity is called putrefaction. Okay, putrefaction. That time microorganisms start growing in food items which contain high amount of protein, and that activity of microorganisms on food items high in protein is called putrefaction. When the putrefaction takes place in protein, bad smell come. Bad smell come. You also have seen, actually, you have smelled when animals die on the road due to accidents. When you go here and there on the road on motorbikes or vehicles, you may have experienced very bad smell coming from dead carcasses of dogs, cats, and many other animals. And that activity is called actually putrefaction. When putrefaction takes place, very bad smell comes. And if you eat chicken where microbial activity was high, sometimes you may get food poisoning. Food poisoning කියලා condition එකක් තියෙනවා. hospital යන්නත් වෙනවා. සමහරවිට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒ බැක්ටීරියා වල poison හැදෙනවා. ඒවා හෙන විසයි මැරෙනවා. මිනිස්සු මැරෙනවා. සමහරවිට කෝමා එනවා, සමහරවිට faint වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒවා හරි allergic අයිතික විසයි. So that is because of putrefaction. The chicken වල ගොඩක් fridge off කරලා තිබ්බ chicken වල සමහර කුකුල් මස් තියෙනවල ගොඩක් ඔය රෙස්ටොරන්ට්ස් වලට දානවා. ගොඩක් සමහර මිනිස්සු මැරිච්ච කුකුල්. ඒගොල්ලෝ මස් අඩුවට දාන්න. ඉතින් රෙස්ටොරන්ට් වල කට්ටිය මස් ගාන අඩු හින්දා ගන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ හොඳටම ෆ්‍රීස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මස්. ඒ අර කොටුවේ මැරිච්ච කුකුල්ලු. බ්‍රොයිලර්ස්ලා එහෙම මැරෙනවනේ. මැරිච්ච කුකුල්ලු අඩු ගානට දානවා. අරගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ මැරිච්ච කුකුල්ලු කියලා. ඒතර ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ බැක්ටීරියල් ඇක්ටිවිටි එක තිබිලා තියෙනවා. සමහරලාට අපි දන්නේ කෑවෑන් පස්සේ ඇඟ කසනවා, ඇලර්ජිස් එනවා. එහෙම වෙනවා. එතකොට එහෙම වෙන්නේ putrefaction ඉන්න. And the other activity is, other activity is rancidity. Food items that are high in lipids leads to rancidity because of the microbial activity. Microbial activity on food items which are high in lipids. Lipids mean fat, so oils, which are high in lipids is called rancidity. This is, of course, a familiar experience for you. In the Christmas time or in the New Year time, when oil cake, කැවුම්, or else මුං කැවුම් අතිරා, ඕවා තින් ටික කාලයක් තියාගෙන කනවනේ ගෙවල් වල. කද්දි සතියක් විතර යද්දී ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවා ඒ වල එනවා පුස්රා මේ මුඩු රහ. මුඩු රහ මුඩු වීම. අමුතු පුස්රහක් එන්නේ ඒකට කියන්නේ මුඩු වීම කියලා මුඩු රහනේ. මුඩු රහ ඇතිවීම තමයි අපි කියන්නේ rancidity කියලා. That time lipids available in food items have spoiled. They have become spoiled. That's why that bad taste comes. That taste is called rancidity. So like that, you must know 3 types of names given to spoiling of several types of food items. Food items high in sugars, fermentation. Food items high in protein, putrefaction. And food items high in lipids. Lipids means fats and oils, rancidity. All these happen because of activity of microorganisms, microbial activity or activity of microorganisms. So there are the three main types of microbial activity on food items. Then after that, uh, we come to discuss uh, beneficial effects of microorganisms in various industries. That they also we discuss, but I will explain some of the industries in detail. Uh, here there are several industries you must know somewhat in detail. Those industries are like this. In the coir industry means getting coconut fiber. Or that coconut fiber is called coir. Okay, that is called kohukend. Then coir is available in the coconut husk. Then coconut husk has many coir bound together. It is very difficult for us to separate those coils because they are tightly bound together. There are cells in our body, animal bodies and plant bodies. Some cells are small, but some cells are very big. Here, one coil means, if I explain that, කොස්සේ තියෙනවනේ කොහු කෙන්දි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඇත්තටම එක කොහු කෙන්දක් කියලා කියන්නේ කොස්සේ තියෙන තනි සෛලයක්. ඒ සෛල හරි දිගයි. ලොකු සෛලක් තියෙනවා, පොඩි සෛලක් තියෙනවා. මේ සෛලේ හරි දිගයි. එක කොහු කෙන්දක් කියලා කියන්නේ අඟල් 6ක් විතර වගේ දිගයි. මතක තියාගන්න එක සෛලයක් කියලා. It's a single cell. Those cells are bound together in the coconut husk. We can't separate. So what we do is that we put coconut husks in water body. There is a water tank in Sinhala that is called Mattawala. There is a water body. In the water body, we place the coconut husks for about 6 months. And when the coconut husks are kept in water for about 6 months, bacteria start growing on the coconut husk, and there is a binding material between two coils or two coconut fibers. That binding material is called in science middle lamella. Middle lamella is the binding material. That binding material, middle lamella, is digested by bacteria. It is digested. That time coconut husk become very soft. And after about 6 months time of keeping the coconut husks in water, those coconut husks are taken out and they are pressed against a machine. There is a machine is rotating drum is there. On the rotating drum there are nails. එතකොට මේ පොල්ලෙල්ල අරගෙන ඒ තෙත පොල්ලෙල්ල අරන් එන කැරකෙන එන තියෙන ඩ්‍රම් එකට අල්ලපුවාම එන වලින් හැරලා ගිහලා නිකම්ම කෙඳි ටික ගැලවිලා යනවා. Very easily we can separate the fiber or coir of coconut husks. And in science we call this one retin fiber. RETTING, retin fiber. කියන්නේ කෙඳි ගැලවීම. So for retin fiber, first of all, binding material has to be digested. That binding material is digested by bacteria. If bacteria do not digest that binding material, we cannot separate those fiber. නිකමට උත්සාහ කරලා බලන්න පොල්ලෙල්ල ගහද්දී පොල්ලෙල්ල තියෙන කෙඳි ඇදලා ගලවන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. කවදාවත් බෑ. පුදුම තදට බැඳලා තියෙන්නේ. ඕක ඉතින් බැක්ටීරියල් ඇක්ටිවිටි එකට පස්සේ තමයි ගලවන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඉතින් මේ මිඩල් ලැමෙල්ලා කියන මැටීරියල් එක සොෆ්ට් වෙලා බිමට වැටෙනවා. ඒකට තමයි කොහුබත් කියලා කියන්නේ. කොහුබත් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකට තමයි. ඒක වෙනම විකුණනවා. කෙන්ද තමයි ගණන්. By using coconut fiber coir, brooms are made, carpets are made, mattresses are made, ropes are made, then shoe polish brushes are made, like that. So many So many items are manufactured by using coconut coir or coconut fiber. So that is how microorganisms are used in retin fiber in the coconut industry, in the coconut or coir industry. Another one, of course, bakery industry, when sugar is available in the mixture, sugar is converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Here actually fermentation takes place. මෙතන yeast වලින් තමයි fermentation එක වෙන්නේ. මෙතන yeast වලින් අනිවාර්යෙන් fermentation එක වෙනවා. හැබැයි බැක්ටීරියා මගින් නෙමෙයි වෙන්නේ. බැක්ටීරියා වලින් fermentation වුණොත් එහෙම මේ විස ද්‍රව්‍ය හැදෙනවා. නමුත් බේකරි ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ මතක තියාගන්න අපි fermentation කරන්න යූස් කරන්නේ yeast. yeast වලින් හැදෙන විස ප්‍රමාණය හරි අඩුයි. එන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. හැබැයි බැක්ටීරියා වලින් fermentation වුණොත් එහෙම පාන් අපිට කණ්ඩ වෙන්නේ එතකොට ටිකක් විස තියෙන දේවල්. ඒක හරි අමාරුයි. ඒවා කෑවොත් විස තියෙනවා, ඇලර්ජි එනවා. නමුත් yeast දාලා කරන එක yeast වලින් කරන්නේ fermentation ම තමයි. Sugar is converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. That time carbon dioxide raises all the bakery items. That time it's very easy for us to eat because food items become so soft. So you must know those things very well. And compost also. When you have a lot of garbage and organic material like animal body parts, plant body parts, throw away vegetable matter from the kitchen, throw away matter, then all those things are digested or decomposed by bacteria and fungi. දෙකම පාවිච්චි වෙනවා මතක තියාගන්න. Mainly bacteria, fungus දෙකම use වෙනවා, bacteria විතරක් නෙමෙයි. You may be questioned. What are the types of microorganisms that are highly used in making compost? Both bacteria and fungi, both are used. So they decompose, and after that we can put this compost to plants. Plants will have a lot of nutrients. Nutrients means a lot of element ions, nitrates, phosphates, sulfates. So those will be available because it is digested manure. Other industries, yogurt and curd. Yogurt, when producing yogurt, we use in the world 2 main types of milk. Normally, yogurt is called yogurt because yogurt has a specific flavor. 2 types of milk are used in the world. One is cow's milk, elakiri. Other one is goat milk, elukiri. So yogurt is called yogurt when cow's milk or goat milk are used to produce yogurt. To produce the same material, if we use buffalo milk, we don't call it curd, we don't call it yogurt. Buffalo milk is used to make curd. That means the same material that is used by using buffalo milk, that time flavor is little bit different, and that time we call not yogurt, curd. The meekiri වලින් විතරයි curd හදන්නේ. දෙකේම වෙන්නේ එක වගේ ක්‍රියාවලියක්, taste එක වෙනස්. හේතුව තමයි කිරි වෙනස්. So buffalo milk is used to make curd. Here there are 2 types of bacteria used here. In grade 9 you are making yogurt actually in the practical. I have taught grade 9 children. You are in grade 8 no, you don't have to do this practical. You have to do that bakery industry practical, that is raising of food items and adding yeast in coconut water or sugar water mixture. Here we use in grade 9 2 types of bacteria to produce yogurt: Streptococcus and Lactobacillus. Lactobacillus and Streptococcus. Okay. Lactobacillus and Streptococcus in the ratio 1:2. Those 2 bacteria, after about 6-7 hours, they make milk. They convert milk into yogurt. Then what is happening in milk is discussed in grade 9, not in this class. You must know 2 types of bacteria convert milk into yogurt. their milk protein. Milk contains certain type of protein called casein. Casein protein katigassano, clot karana. When casein is clotted, we call it yogurt. The price of yogurt is 10 times higher than the price of milk. That means if you buy 1 liter of milk, if you buy 1 liter of yogurt, remember in the market, 1 liter of yogurt will cost you 10 times the cost of milk. That means if you spend 100 rupees to buy 1 liter of milk, you have to spend 1000 rupees to buy 1 liter of yogurt. Yogurt is expensive, but at home you can easily make it. So they are the main, they are some of the industries that you must know in detail. Others you must know, of course, by name only. We use microorganisms to produce antibiotics, vaccines, and you must know in name only. They are users. Here you must know a little bit higher what happens there. Okay, so they are actually called as beneficial effects of microorganisms because here microorganisms help us to do some products, produce some products. And on the other hand, there are, harmful effects. What are the harmful effects of microorganisms? You see, this is one major effect. Food spoilage. It in food spoilage. This is very disadvantageous. In Sri Lanka, actually in other countries won't happen much. You must know, in Sri Lanka, very high percentage of food is spoiled. The food produced must go to the customers, but in between, very high percentage. I think maybe sometimes maybe more than 40%. Okay, about 40% or more than that. Food is spoiled. Okay, so therefore we have to throw away. නිකන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නකෝ පොලක් ඉවරුනහම කොච්චර එළවලු විසි කරලා තියෙනවද කියලා. පොල ඉවර වෙද්දි එළවලු කඩයක් පිටිපස්සට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න. ඊට පස්සේ පළතුරු කඩේකට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න කෙහෙල් ඇවරි කීයක් කුණු වෙලා තියෙනවද කියලා. අපරාධයක්. අපරාධයක්. ඒගොල්ලෝ අඩු ගන්නට විකුණන්නේත් නැහැ. මුළු කෙහෙල් කනින්ම විකුණන්නේ කෙහෙල් ඇවිලි 3යි 4යි. මඩ 5යි. ඉතුරු ටික කුණු වෙලා විසි කරනවා. අඩු ගන්නට දුන්නොත් ගන්නවා මිනිස්සු වැඩිපුර. නමුත් විකුණන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ විකුණන්නේ මහා විශාල ගණන් වලට. එතකොට ෆාමර්ගෙන් ගන්නේ අඩු ගන්නට. එතකොට කඩකාරයා තමයි මේකෙන් ලොකු වාසියක් ලබන්නේ. කඩකාරයා තමයි විසි කරන්නේ. දෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙතන ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති කෙසෙල් කළු පාට වෙනවා මේ කැරට් වගේ. මේ කළු පාට වෙන්න ප්‍රධාන හේතුව මොකද්ද? fungus growing. Fungus growing. And the fungus start growing and that time we can't eat it actually. It gives a very bad odor. So now there are different types of fungi. There are different types of fungi growing in different types of food items. Same fungus mostly, same microorganisms, even bacteria, do not grow on all the food items. Vegetables and types of vegetables also, there are different types of fungi. Bread and vegetable, two types of fungi and microorganisms. And if we consider sour tasting fruits like lemon, ඇඹුල් රහය ඒවා තියෙන්නේ. අන්නේ ඇඹුල් රහය වල හැම මයික්‍රෝऑर्गेनिज्म කෙනෙක්ටම වර්ධනය වෙන්න බෑ. මොකද ඇඹුලට මැරෙනවා. ඇසිඩ් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ හින්දා ඒකට විශේෂ වර්ගයක් ඉන්නවා. ඒකට හැම ෆුඩ් අයිටම් එකේම ඔක්කොම මේ එකම මයික්‍රෝऑर्गेनिज्म නෙමෙයි ග්‍රෝ වෙන්නේ. විවිධ වර්ග තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ. ඒක කොහොමුණත් වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට food spoilage එක. So that is a very big disadvantage for us. දැන් පාන් උනත් microorganisms ලා නැත්තම් ගොඩක් කල් තියා විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වුණාට දවසක් යන යද්දි මොකද වෙන්නේ? පාන් නරක් වෙනවා. Bad taste comes, you know, or food spoilage takes place. Therefore, we have to take an action to prevent food spoilage. So food spoilage is a disadvantage for us. It is a harmful effect of microorganisms. සමහර පාන් වර්ග තියෙනවා ඇත්තටම. For example, if I tell you that, you know, Keel's bread, Keel's pan, ඒවා ඉතින් දවස් කිහිපයක් තියාගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ගහලා තියෙනවා expiry date එක. ඒවට දානවා preservatives. මතක තියාගන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ preservatives දැම්මේ නැත්නම් ඒ කිසිම bakery item එකක් ගොඩක් කල් තියාගන්න බෑ. ඒගොල්ලෝ සාමාන්‍ය සතියක් විතර දවස් 4-5ක් තියාගන්න පුළුවන් ඒක. expiry date එක බැලුවොත් manufacturing date එක බැලුවොත් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. නිකම් produce කරන පාන් කල් තියාගන්න බෑ. දවසයි උපරිම 2යි. මේවා තියාගන්න පුළුවන් කියන්නේ ඒවට preservatives දාලා තියෙන. එතකොට microorganisms ලා මැරෙනවා. අපි කන්නේ ඒවා තමයි. කිසියම් මට්ටමකින් හානි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් ඒවා දානවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්. නැත්තම් ඉතින් කල් තියාගන්න බෑ කොහොමත්. beverages වලට එම අනිවාර්යෙන් දානවා. For example now, if I give you one example actually that whether microorganisms grow or not, you can see, you can check it whether microorganisms grow or not in Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Sprite, right? Overall, if you keep actually sugar solution somewhere else, after one day you will see, you will get an alcohol smell. Fermentation takes place in the sugar solution, okay? And if you keep, you know, sugar added tea one day only for 24 hours, you will get that alcohol smell. That means fermentation takes place. It is because of the activity of yeast. That is called fermentation. But you see, if you keep actually 100 milliliter or some amount of Sprite, Coca-Cola, keep the bottle open, nothing happens. ඒ සීනි වලට කිසිම දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක sugar තියෙනවා. නමුත් Sprite, Coca-Cola, Pepsi ඒවා දාලා තිබ්බා කියලා මුකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම කරලා බලලා තියෙනවා. හේතුව ඒවට දාලා තියෙනවා මොනවා හරි microorganisms ලා මැරෙන්න preservatives දාලා තියෙනවා. That's why we can preserve even 2-liter bottle of Sprite when it is opened and half drunk. We can keep outside the refrigerator 1 liter of Sprite when 1 liter is completely finished, drunk. But nothing happens. No bad taste comes. Sweet taste comes. Then microorganisms won't grow in it. It is because those beverages contain preservatives. So here, I think last week I told you, I think at home you do this one and check it, you know, right? In the school normally this practical is done after allowing microorganisms to grow on some vegetables, fruits, bread also, bread, right? We get a little amount of these fungi. We get a little amount of those fungus, right? And after that, we put that sample on a slide and we observe under microscope. When you observe under microscope, we can see their bodies of those fungi. Okay, we can observe with our own eyes how their bodies are. Fungi bodies are, and fungus bodies are, fungi bodies are, you know, have filaments. They have a lot of filaments. You may have seen they contain filaments, right? I will show you some of them after a short while. Carpooting cut in the pulang cut to the above window. It has some pennan eval videos stick up. Show you, okay? So if you keep at home, මොනාද රවින් මමයි මාට කිව්වද මේ ගෙදර කරලා බලන්න කියලා කිව්වද? Ravi?
Oh, sir.
මේ ඕගොල්ලෝ කරලා බැලුවද ඉතින් මේ ඒ කියන්නේ ෆුඩ් අයිටම්ස් ටිකක් බොක්ස් එක දාලා එම බැලුවද
ඔව්
ඉතින්
සර් කිව්වා.
බැලුවද ඉතින් ඔය බැලුවේ නැද්ද බැලුවේ නැද්ද right okay and now okay then after I will show you those videos okay after discussing activity of microorganisms on several food items vegetables bread sometimes meat fish even okay we discuss the diseases caused by microorganisms okay microorganisms also cause diseases ලෙඩ හදනවා මේගොල්ලෝ then those diseases are divided or classified into four main groups some diseases are caused by viruses some diseases are caused by bacteria some diseases are caused by protozoans some diseases are caused by fungi so virus diseases are the diseases that are caused by viruses. ඉස්සර කාලේ ගොඩක් දෙයියන්ගේ ලෙඩ කියලා කියන්නේ. හැම දෙයියන්ගේ ලෙඩක්ම වෛරස් ලෙඩක් COVID-19 ඇතුළු. common cold සාමාන්‍ය හෙම්බිරිස්සාව. dengue, AIDS, smallpox, වසූරිය, chicken pox, කමුල්ගාය, mumps, measles, sarampa, right? All those diseases are, remember, caused by viruses. Bacteria diseases are tuberculosis, kshay rogi, leprosy laduru, typhoid fever, typhoid duna. They are bacteria diseases. And protozoa diseases are caused by protozoans like amoeba-like animals, one-cell animals, we call them one-cell animals, malaria, leishmaniasis, tuwale no attola hame. Otherwise,